Alright everyone, you're not going to believe what's happened in the last few hours. The battle for that Argentine midfielder Tottenham have been chasing since the summer has just got a lot more complicated. A London rival has entered the race with serious intent, and look, things are heating up. If you want to know who's trying to nick this talent from right under our noses, stick with me till the end because this news is going to get you talking. Let's go. Let me take you back first. During the last transfer window, Tottenham were seriously invested in bringing Nico Paz to North London. We're talking about a club prepared to put €70 million, that's £60.7 million on the table for a 21-year-old attacking midfielder. That's not window shopping. That's a statement of intent from the Spurs hierarchy. But here's where it gets tricky. The deal collapsed, and it wasn't just about the money. Real Madrid played a decisive role in blocking that move. Why? Because Los Blancos have a buyback clause activated in 2026, and they're planning to exercise it. They see Paz as part of their future project, which makes any permanent deal extremely complex for any club interested right now. Fast forward to today, Chelsea have officially entered the race. According to reliable sources at Court Offside, the Blues have made a formal inquiry about Paz's availability. They've been watching him tear up Serie A this season, and frankly, who can blame them? The kid has been sensational for goals, for assists for Como so far. Those aren't just numbers, they represent a player who's elevating his team week after week. Chelsea want to add attacking firepower, and they see Paz as the perfect profile. Young, creative, technically gifted, and already performing at a high level in one of Europe's top leagues. But here's the problem: they're facing the same problem we faced in the summer. Real Madrid buyback clause. It gives Los Blancos enormous leverage in any negotiation, and that's a major complication for anyone trying to secure his signature. If you like watching this video, join the Spurs family by hitting that subscribe button. Let's reach 900 subscribers and keep the Tottenham spirit alive and kicking. Now, let me be clear. Tottenham have not given up. The club is continuing to monitor Paz closely. The interest from the summer remains intact, and internally, there's still a belief that this is a player who fits the profile of what we're trying to build. But Spurs aren't alone in this. Not even close. Arsenal are also watching, and Mikel Arteta's side are reportedly trying to convince Paz that a move to the Emirates, staying in the Premier League, would be a better career choice than returning to the Bernabeu. That's a London derby battle we could potentially see unfold. And then there's Inter Milan, who have now become serious contenders. The Nerazzurri aren't just monitoring, they're ready to act. Sources suggest they're willing to put €58 million, £51 million, on the table in January. That's serious money, and it shows how highly rated this player is across Europe elite clubs. Here's the reality we need to address. No matter how much Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, or Inter want Nico Paz, Real Madrid hold all the cards. That buyback clause isn't just a detail, it's a game changer. Any club that moves for Paz has to navigate around the fact that Madrid can essentially veto the deal or activate that clause themselves. From a strategic standpoint, this is a nightmare scenario for Tottenham. You're potentially investing £50 to £60 million in a player who could be pulled back to Spain within a year. It's a massive financial risk, and it explains why the summer deal didn't happen. The club's decision-makers had to weigh whether it was worth the gamble. Looking at this tactically and institutionally, Tottenham are in a difficult position. Paz is exactly the type of creative midfielder that could unlock defenses and add another dimension to our attack. He's young, he fits the age profile the club is targeting, and he's already proven himself in a top 5 league. But the competition is fierce. Chelsea have financial muscle. Arsenal can offer Premier League football and Champions League football potentially. Inter can offer Serie A stability and the chance to keep playing in Italy, where he's already settled. Tottenham need to ask themselves, is it worth pursuing a player with this level of complication? Or should resources be directed toward targets with clearer paths to completion? That's the strategic question facing Daniel Levy and the recruitment team right now. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you here as both an analyst and a lifelong Spurs supporter. I think we need to let this one go. And I know that's not what people want to hear, especially after watching Paz dismantle defenses in Serie A week after week. But hear me out. We've been burned before by complicated transfer situations. We've danced around deals that had too many moving parts, too many third parties involved, and we've ended up either overpaying or walking away empty-handed. The Real Madrid buyback clause isn't just an inconvenience, it's a fundamental flaw in any deal structure. Imagine we break our transfer record, pay £60 million for this lad, he lights up the Premier League for 6 months, and then Real Madrid decide they want him back. We'd be left holding nothing but regrets and a massive hole in our budget. From a pure football perspective, yes, Paz would be incredible for us. He's got that creative spark we've been missing in the final third. He can play between the lines, he's got an eye for goal, and at 21, is exactly the age profile we should be targeting. But football decisions can't be made in a vacuum. The business side matters, and this deal screams unnecessary risk. What frustrates me most is seeing Chelsea and Arsenal circle around this. It feels like déjà vu. Spurs identify a target early, do the groundwork, and then our London rivals swoop in with deeper pockets and more attractive projects. But you know what? In this specific case, let them have the headache. Let Chelsea or Arsenal deal with the Real Madrid situation. Let them invest heavily knowing they might lose him in 18 months. We need to be smarter than that. We need to focus our resources on players we can actually build around long term, not expensive rentals disguised as permanent signings. If I'm Daniel Levy and Johan Lange right now, I'm redirecting every bit of attention away from Paz and toward targets that make more sense for our project. We need a creative midfielder, absolutely, but there are other options out there without the Real Madrid complications hanging over them. Look at someone like Tijani Reinders at AC Milan. Different profile, more defensive, but progressive and available without buyback clauses. Or what about pushing harder for someone like Arda Güler on loan from Real Madrid directly, if they're not planning to use him? At least that way, we know it's a short-term situation from the start and we plan accordingly. Even looking at the Championship or other leagues for that creative spark. A Roman S from Millwall, young, hungry, and without the geopolitical chess game attached. The point is, Tottenham have always done their best business when we've been clever, not when we've tried to outmuscle bigger clubs in complicated situations. Remember how we got Son from Leverkusen? How we nabbed Romero? Those were smart, strategic moves where we identified quality before the mega clubs circled, and we acted decisively. Paz feels like the opposite. We're late to the party, there's too much competition, and the terms are stacked against us. Sometimes the smartest move is knowing when to fold and redirect your energy elsewhere. The emergence of Chelsea as serious competitors for Nico Paz tells us one thing: this player is the real deal. When you have 4 major clubs circling, and one of them is willing to put over £50 million down in January, you know you're looking at a generational talent. But Tottenham's situation is precarious. We're competing on multiple fronts, and the Real Madrid clause makes this a high-risk investment. My sense? Unless Spurs can get creative with the deal structure, maybe a loan with option to buy that works around Madrid timeline, this one might slip away again. And honestly, I think that's for the best. We need to be ruthless with our decision-making and not get caught up in transfer battles we're not equipped to win. Now, here's my question for you. Should Tottenham go all in for Nico Paz despite the Real Madrid buyback risk, or should we focus on more straightforward targets this January? Do you agree with my assessment, or do you think we should take the gamble? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and I genuinely want to hear where you stand on this. If you want to stay ahead of every Tottenham transfer story, the ins, the outs, the negotiations, the exclusives, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a like on this video if you found it valuable, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an update. This is where you get your Spurs news first, fast, and always reliable. We're building the most informed Spurs community on YouTube, and I want you to be part of it. See you in the next one. COYS.